First off, New York and Las Vegas seems like a pretty good marriage, doesn't it? Until you start digging into the logistics and what it means for a baseball player. And just based on the distance alone, if the Mets need a player on a moment's notice, it's a problem.
There's been so little continuity with the Mets this year because of injuries, and because of that, it's created almost this express shuttle between New York City and Las Vegas where guys are coming and going, and no one stays for too long and no one goes back for too long. But it's kind of this unique situation in that A, the Mets have their AAA team almost all the way across the country, which is something you don't see very often, and B, they never know when they're going to get the call, and they never know when they're going to have to drop everything and come all the way across the country. So it's this kind of unique, exhausting situation for these guys, but for a lot of players who are in that situation where they're maybe borderline AAA MLB, it's reality.
If you have been sent down from New York to Las Vegas, you've got that long flight to contemplate and consider what went wrong up here, what you need to do to get back. Just that 1 5-hour flight in and of itself can't be too easy with all of that circling in your mind. But then, for example, take a guy like Brandon Nimmo, who recently was sent from the Mets back to Vegas, takes the long flight, lands, grabs an Uber, gets in the car, phone rings, basically, got to get back to New York. Pull an about face, go back to the airport, fly all night. It's not an easy life. It's a tough enough life, even though nobody wants to believe that, for a Major League Baseball player under the best of conditions. But when you're bouncing back and forth between New York and Las Vegas, pretty complicated.
Being in baseball, I haven't really ever felt like I've had a home. For the past 5 years, I've kind of just felt like, well, I live wherever the Mets tell me to live. And that's just the lifestyle that I live for now, to try and pursue this dream. Is just a nomadic lifestyle. And so you just live out of a suitcase, and you got to be ready to leave at the drop of a hat. And it's a good thing to leave at the drop of a hat, but you just have to roll with the punches. And that's just, unfortunately, kind of the lifestyle that this is. And so no, I don't really have a home, and I haven't had one for 5 years, I feel like, because I haven't really been in one place more than a few months. So you just kind of roll with the punches with it and live out of a suitcase.
All right, Manny, since I didn't have you in spring training much because you're on the big league side the whole time, I just wanted to touch base with you and see where you're at now. What do you think we need to do? What do you need to work on to get you over the hump? Because I think that you're real close.
I personally think I need to work on my whole game. I mean, there's not really one area that I feel like I need to especially focus on. I just want to kind of get better at everything. I mean, base running, hitting, defense. I just want to become a complete player.
The one thing that I would try to point out to you, which I point out to other guys that have gone to the big leagues, it's almost like it's a sigh of relief when you get there. And the guys that continue to work hard like you do, those are the guys that stay there. And personally, that's where I feel you're going to be. You just keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to push your way to the big leagues.
I got called up, and it was pretty incredible. I mean, I really wasn't expecting to get that call, but I ended up getting it, and I called my parents. My mom started crying, and it was a very special moment that I'll obviously never forget.
It was right before a game in Colorado Springs, and manager Wally Backman came up to me, and in the very dramatic way that he tells everyone that they're going up, told me basically to get ready to get on a flight to Washington. I was meeting the team there, and I was kind of in shock, but I walked out of the dugout, shook everyone's hand, and got on a plane in about 2 hours after that.
We were playing in Albuquerque. Wally Backman pulled me into the office, and he kind of tricked me a little bit. He was telling me, he's giving me some time off and some rest because we had a doubleheader, so I wasn't playing the second game, and he kind of went with that route. And I thought that's all he was going to tell me. And then at the end, he was like, by the way, you're flying out tonight. So it was, I'm still kind of shocked. It still feels unreal, but it was a special moment.
He called me, and a rare occasion I was home alone, and he tells me I'm not going to go to the second game because they tell me I'm on a flight to at 12 o'clock midnight. And of course, I'm like, I stayed shocked for a second, I screamed. And then Tia said, you gotta be kidding me.
I didn't believe her. Honestly, I said, you kidding me? And I kept saying, you kidding me, you kidding me. No, it's true, it's coming up.
I grew up pretty close to Citi Field, went to Lehman High School in the Bronx. I have my family here. I have a lot of family still here in New York. My parents still live here, my sister, aunts, uncles, and stuff like that, and a lot of my good friends that I grew up with.
It's a new life. We have to thank the Mets. I mean, the kid didn't have a chance after college. They signed him, they gave him a chance, and he's proven himself that he belongs here. And that's the bottom line. If they give him a chance and they keep him here, they'll see the kind of player TJ really is.
And person, yeah. It's been surreal watching him out there. We're hoping that it's a permanent thing.